but I'm excited to share with you Sahar's voice. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I wish I could take her everywhere with me. Hey. Thank you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you for investing in your voice. Your voice is like your fingerprint. No two are alike, and each one has a purpose. Each voice, every voice in here, has different words that fill the vocabulary of your voice. And where do these words come from? First, they start with A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Then it's no. Then it's yes. Then it's why, Mom? Why, Dad? Why? Right? We want to keep that why around. That's how your voice begins. But then, by the time you're 7, and if Dr. Brittany Beretta was here of Faramore, she talks about the first 7 years. She's a geneticist. We talk about on a cellular level how that sticks with you. So, your voice is developed by your experiences. First and foremost, your family and friends. And then, it's your workplace. And when you're a kid, your job is to go to school. And then beyond that, it's your community. What is your walk to school like? What is your drive in your community like? Are there libraries? Are there stores? That changes your lens. That changes your perspective. That changes your voice and your words. So what we like to say at Own Your Voice is the same person that stands in the boardroom stands in the bedroom. Because that voice that you have is really cognitive patterns. Your brain is a muscle, just like we do squats in the gym. Bow, bow. Your voice and your words are squats for your mind. So when you get into these patterns and you're making the same kinds of decisions and you say, man, I keep getting in these relationships, but the same person over and over. Or man, I just can't make money in business. What are these patterns that you're in? We want you to own your voice, but we don't want you to own the wrong voice. We want you to find the right voice and own that. And to do that, it's a lot of tuning in. You know, you think more than 70,000 thoughts in one day. Who wants to tune into all of that? Not it. Not it. But I want you to realize when you feel a high or a low, can you go back to what you were saying within yourself? Can you remember those words? Because everything in life is a verbal exchange. Okay? 6 months ago, we started talking about the summit. Maybe you saw it on your social media stream, on a flyer at the coffee shop. Maybe a friend invited you. Okay, what's this? Who's this Sahar Paz? Who's this Lauren lady? It took time. So, as an emotionally intelligent leader, I had an option. I could throw money at ads and be anxious. I could be really nervous and start saying, okay, everybody, come on. Or I could take that emotional intelligence, tell myself to pump your brakes, and go back to your wisdom. Now, if you've been following our content, we talk to the self, the EQ, the emotional intelligence, which is what Find Your Voice is. We also talk about the strategy. So the strategy for that, I knew, hey, on average, someone has to see your stuff 12 to 24 times before they convert. Locally, it's going to take you $900 per audience member to convert. Nationally, $2,000 to convert. So, self, EQ, before you get anxious and you start making these decisions that are bad for your business and for your workforce and for your mental health, let's check in with that strategy. Remember, 12 to 24 times on average, they're going to have to see your stuff before they invest. Don't take it personal. So you got to find that healthy voice before you own it. Before you own it. So, why is this my driver? Because 40 years ago today, I was born in a country where my people had no voice. And it wasn't just the women, it was the men. Everyone. They couldn't say anything about their mothers, their sisters, or their daughters not being able to speak up, wear what they want to wear. And they were frustrated. So, we are all leaders. We're all leaders with voices. If we understand that we all have a purpose and a true north, That if we understand the frustration, whatever that is within your home, within your work, or within your community, that affects these decisions, you're not being very conscious. And conscious and awareness are the base of being a conscious capitalist. At Own Your Voice, we ask, what's your personal mission? This doesn't have to be public facing. You don't have to tell everyone. But what is your personal mission? Because whether you have a personal brand or an organization, a product, a service, you still have a mission inside that drives you. You still have a workforce. You still have a voice. So what is your purpose? What is your true north? And then look at the bottom of that is leadership. Gabriella Rowe is going to be here, and she talks about leading from the back of the wolf pack, looking out for everyone, making sure everyone's true north is kept in mind. Now, don't let your mind tumble and twist and saying, oh my God, does this mean I just have to go and change my whole profit model? Does this mean I have to go revamp my marketing strategy? No, this is just building your awareness. This is allowing you to own your voice within your workforce and have these hard conversations. I've never been more uncomfortable than the last 5 months bringing this together, of having that tough conversation with Lauren, the yes and the no's. But we keep in mind what we have to say to each other, how that affects the culture of our team, how we have to have those tough conversations with our stakeholders, depending on who we're protecting. So conscious capitalism isn't just this trend. We want to make it a norm. And for that to happen, you have to find your conscious voice. You have to have the courage to stick behind it. And to do that, you need a very clear mission. So what is your personal mission? My personal mission has always been find your voice, but I didn't know that. I was 25, working in banking, New York City, Citibank, private banking, so I was dealing with mortgages, $3 million and up. So here I am, corner office, check. More money than I know what to do with, check. Handsome man, check. All the happy lists, boom, 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 boom. Depressed out of my mind. I was leaning in though. I was at that table, but I was too passionate at the age of 25, so I didn't understand how to direct my voice to be effective. But I did see something. Before there was a book called Lean In, I saw women leaning in. I saw that there wasn't a glass ceiling, but a glass maze. I saw strategic conversations with mentors and sponsors behind closed doors that would advocate for your voice. I met he for she's. That was in finance. That was when my voice was too passionate and I wasn't being constructive. And I said, okay, I gotta get out of here. So I went to fashion because I thought I'm gonna use this to empower, to change. And I did. High school students, 2 days a week, didn't go to school. They came with me. We went to Dior. We went to White Label. And they were able to get credit for publishing magazines. And at that time, I knew that we were still dealing with the root of a problem, which was the woman's voice in the home. And that's when Find Your Voice came about. And Find Your Voice is emotional intelligence. It's about understanding, oh, I'm feeling anxious right now, or I'm in that mode of I better save everything, and I'm making decisions that may not be the best for those in your circle. So what I'm asking you to remember, the same person that stands in the boardroom stands in the bedroom. You have the same triggers. Sometimes you have to pump the brakes. Sometimes you need the honest people that will have those hard conversations with you. And sometimes you need a mentor. Lauren and I don't ever want to forget where we came from. And for us, we created voiceofimpact.org. That's our online university. If you don't have time to mentor, you could sponsor someone for a year. Every month, we change the curriculum. Every month, we're going to talk about the self, the EQ, emotional intelligence, as well as the strategy, because they go hand in hand. Now, I can tell that the systems are broken, and I'm not the only one. When I was on the road with Find Your Voice, I went to local bookstores. I had the chance to go to Barnes & Noble, Facebook, HBO, and I learned very quickly my voice is not enough. My voice doesn't fall on everyone's ears, and I know that. I also learned, for those of you that want to speak and tell your story, that you can re-victimize yourself, that it's not always sustainable. So think about that. And we live in a world that loves the victim, but how much are we going to perpetuate that cycle with our voice? What voice are you owning? In your personal brand, in your life, and within yourself. So, a lot of folks are not happy with the way that the market is. By 2020, 50% of us are going to be freelancers, social enterprises. Hello. What I learned on the road is I was working way too hard and not smart. Who's tired of working harder and not smarter? Right. So we all are breaking out of these norms. We have the voice. We're creating these new patterns, but now we're in these silos. And that's what Lauren and I want to create next year. It's a social impact agency where all these solo entrepreneurs and hustlers come together. We got your insurance. We got your accounting and your billing. We got your mentorship. Let's get together and build social impact. Because in silos, we're just making things harder. So, today, as I ask you to find your voice, I really want you to listen to the one coming up inside. Okay? If you go down the road of comparison, cut it out. Competition, cut it out. Not today. Today's a place for conversation. Everyone in here came to own their voice. So there is a starting point for a conversation for you. The person in front of you, next to you, and behind you, you have something in common with. Now, I think I have something with you, common with you, Mr. Alberto. I am calling you out. So I believe that everything is in words. Verbal exchange, right? Your words lead to your emotions, lead to your decisions. That's cognitive behavior therapy. It's a lot of what Find Your Voice is based on, a lot of what our emotional intelligence is based on. But Alberto sees in pictures. He is the CEO of Vision Momentum. I could tell you about the $1 million of capital he's raised for himself. I could tell you about the amazing SEO campaigns. But today we want to talk about conscious capitalism and what that looks like. That doesn't mean turning your whole business upside down. That means taking what you have and making it work for social impact. Now, when I spoke to you on the phone, you said, man, I want to make the Netflix of education. That is my goal. Today, he started with Draw Your Circle. That's his book that so far is in 16 different languages. So, Alberto, at the age of 11, moved here from Costa Rica. And you're going to finish that story yourself, sir. So come on up. Give him a round of applause, please.